Well, hello and welcome to Material Mondays. I am so pleased to see you today. So, we're coming to the end of this piece. I'm now working on the borders, and what I've done actually is this way, isn't it? This is the right way. And what I've done is add more stitching in these areas, and I'll come in for you so that you can get a better look. So I've just gone in and added even more stitches. I was just feeling it. Feeling it. So in each of these areas, so these are painted canvas, and so yeah, I've gone in with additional stitching in orange and yellow. I think you might have seen this last week, but I went in to the other ones as well, and I think it looks that much better. It feels better anyway. I've also gone in around the edges and just added some additional stitching here, even along here. So I've come out, and then just some, kind of really small ones. So I just I've been sitting with it and then just kind of looking to see if there were any areas that I was thinking, oh yeah, you need a little spot. And even as I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking, oh, that could be. But I'm going to step away from adding any more stitches, and down the edge I've use the shiny beads. They're not shiny beads, but they're kind of glossy, and I like the way they look. So I had taken a break, and I'll show you what I was taking a break doing, but essentially my focus now for this piece is the border, and I've done one side already, and the others are just going to look like this. And then on the back we've got this material which I really like, and then I'm just going to add like they're not tabs, but it's going to be hung, so I'm going to put a wooden dowel in there. So I'm just going to put 2 tabs that it will be able to hang from, and I thought I would leave it like that. But I really like this material. I've had this for quite a while, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. It's quite a fine material. It's not cotton. It might be a cotton mix, I'm not sure. But it came in, yeah, just right for this one. So I found a nice orange thread that I had that goes really nicely and is enabling me to, I'm hand stitching all of this, to sew the border and sew it on the, this is a wax resist piece, and it's a thick cotton, so I'm having a little bit of hard time getting the needle through, so I might have to, it might just be a case of me changing my needles, or I definitely need to use a thimble because I'm finding that, yeah, it's just a mission. But it's one I'll be glad once it's finished, and I'll be able to hang this. As I said, this measures, well, it will measure, let's do it from this end, 13, 14, 15, it's probably 15 by 15 or 15 by 14. And yeah, so I'm gonna be putting a wooden dowel through it, and it can also be framed. So yeah, you're gonna definitely see the finished hanging piece next week, because I'm gonna be working on this to get it finished. It's just like where the finish line is coming closer. So I'm gonna definitely, I'm looking forward to getting this done. Okay, so should we see what I've been distracted by? So Making Zen is a course that came up in September, the end of September, and so I've been working my way through it. It was initially free for 5 days, but I went and brought the VIP, so I've still got access, and I think I needed it because there's 20 sessions, and there was 5 sessions released every day, and there's no way that you can keep up. So let me show you some of the things that I've been doing so far. So first off, one of the teachers is Kiala Givehand, and she showed us how she would make. There's many projects in the one thing anyway, so let me show you the book first. So Kiala did 3 different fabric books, and this is the one that I made. So it's I think she used a thicker cotton, I can't remember whether it was might have been cotton or linen book that she used. So I used this fabric, which was it's quite a thin cotton. I just used what I had, and I've put pages together and I stitched it down the middle, which I've just pulled out some beads that I had stitched along here. That's why it looks like this. And then I decided to actually stitch this in this. But this project is one of the things that we made, and I'll show you, I'll tell you who the teacher was. As I say, there's 20 teachers. So our host Kate brought all the teachers together. So as I said, my first project was this one, making the book with Kiala, and then I thought, when I saw Kiala had shared on Instagram and she'd been using her book, and I was thinking, yeah, why don't I just use my book, the book that I've made, to add some of the projects, but there are some projects that I've done separately. So one of the first things I did was it was Bianca Springer's course, and she did playing with embroidered hair texture, and so I do a lot of figures in my stitching anyway, and she's got a set that you can practice on, and I've still got to go over some of them. But I was looking at some of my this is one that I'm working on as well at the moment, and I thought, let me use some of the techniques that she used here. So I've gone and added French knots as the hair for these 2 characters, and I think they look quite nice. Normally I would just paint it in, but as I was doing it, I was thinking, oh, this could be the hat, and then you've got the hair sticking out the side, and then she's got this one, and she's got black hair. So what I've been finding is there's been some really useful tips that I can use in my own work that I never really thought of using the stitches for hair in my projects, but it just makes a really nice addition to the whole piece. So this piece I'm still working on, and you might see me working on it after the orange one that I've been doing, but we'll see. So that was playing with embroidered hair, and she did so many other, you know, there's I think she showed us 3 or 4, and there's about 12 more in the bonus. They've given each teacher has given away a bonus, but and then she's used different stitches for some of the hair. But it's really interesting to for me to see some of the stitches which I've just mainly used and kind of used it as like an embellishment for a piece, I can now use specifically in creating texture for the hair and other things, like I might use it on the clothes. And there are a couple of other teachers who shared some stitches that I still haven't yet got to. So I've got this book, I've had it for years. It's 67 it was published, but it's got 100 embroidery stitches, and I did, for my 100-day project, I started, it was going to be 100 days of stitches, but I could only get through to 50, and so I've got my stitches here, and so I will kind of go back in and just, you know, play about with some of the stitches. I think you have to practice them to really kind of, you know, make the most of them. So, you know, there are some really nice stitches that I can definitely use. And I'll revisit this, because after I'd finished, I was just like, do I really want to see another stitch again? It was like really, it felt really, I felt very pressured, because I was, you know, you're learning a new technique, and then you're, every day I was learning new stitches and trying to see how, the ones that I was doing, how I would use them. But now thinking about actually using them in some of my art, fabric art wall hangings, yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's move on. Lucinda Walker did a technique called jogakbo, which is a Korean stained glass patchwork, and so she used plain fabric. I went into my stash and found whatever I had. These are painted fabrics, and this is quite slightly different, more stretchy fabric. But this was it wax resist? But the way that you do it is the stitch that you use, both sides, you can see both sides, and then when you hold it up to a window, you can see through it, and it's like a stained glass effect. And she used it, she had a variety of different blocks that she had made, and you know, you can use it and for curtains, for a whole range of things. And I'm going to use this one that I've done. I really enjoyed it because I'd never done this technique before, in terms of, you know, this I think it was a whip stitch she used along here, trying to get my head around, you know, just remembering it, because it's something that I want to use. And as I say, I've used it in doing the borders. So normally I would, and I've used it along here, and I think it's fine the way I think it's fine. I may put some additional bead in here, but yeah, so this was something that I learned and thought I was able to apply it. And that's the nice thing when you learn a technique, and then you can apply it to whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so I haven't done all 20 sessions, and some I haven't yet completed, but I will just show you the ones that I've completed. So Heidi Iverson made a mini jewellery pouch, and this is what I created. This was just made out of, I had this piece of material sitting on my desk, and I had used it for just rubbing off some of the brushes with the paint. So you've got some paint on there at the back, and then I've just stitched it with a silver thread. So I did some just, you know, straight stitch. I had stitched it first before I put it together, and then put this little drawstring there, and then I had these they're just these beads in a bottle, self-rounding dimensional fabric paint. So I just added it there, and I'm just going to keep them all together. So I'm not yet sure what I'm going to put in it, but it'll be something to do with the stitches. It, you know, maybe some larger beads that I might have, or, you know, who knows. Amy Maracle did a Making Your Art permission slip. So I initially did this. She'd made it in a card format, and I haven't yet filled mine in. And then I thought to myself, do you know what, I've got these really nice bottles, so I made my ones and on little slips and put it in this bottle. So and I filled this bottle up so far, and you just got the little permission slip on a little piece of paper. So what does this one say? So it's, I give myself permission to be successful. So I wrote a whole range of ones. You know, I give myself permission to show up for me. I give myself permission to laugh out loud. And the other thing I did, I went on and did some more, but I wanted to create a little pouch in this fabric book. So what I've done here is I outlined a design that I had created this design, and I traced it on here, and then I added glue and glitter. So this is glitter design, and then at the bottom I give myself permission, and I've got a whole range of little slips here. I created another set of slips and added like this fabric enclosure so that I can, it says take one, permission slips granted. So whenever I'm feeling a particular way, I can come and take one of these, and you know, if you need encouragement, you can give yourself permission to, you know, change your mood or whatever it is. And so this fits in here. I've made a little pocket, and I'm thinking of maybe probably doing a button closure there. So I've got 3 different things. I mean, this can actually go in there as well, like so, and then this can be stitched on somewhere, maybe at the front. Anyway, so let's move on. So Cassia Jacquot did folk embroidery for your home, and that's what this piece is. It's supposed to be a flower. So again, I'm still practicing, and I've got to finish this off, but I liked how it was looking. I didn't finish it because I'd run out of thread, so I'd needed to get some more. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish that one, and we'll see how that turns out. Elnaz Yazdani did Rethinking Embroidery, and she used a whole different range of supplies to the surface. So the ones I've added here are rings here. I've got some, I did some couching, which hadn't done before. I've added this, it's a bead, but it's like a silver bead. And she added, like, you know, a whole range of things that you wouldn't normally consider adding to your project, but I added what I had there with me. And then these rings had been sitting on my desk for the longest. We've got this, it's like a kind of a mesh fabric. And then I just added some lace and some things that I had in my scrap bag that I thought, let me just use them on here, and added some more stitches. So I like that, the idea of, and then again, you know, I had this button that I've had for years. It's just like, use it for your project. So I like the idea of using different things that we have and adding them to your embroidered project, and I probably will do more of them, and yeah, use you know, a bigger hoop. I've got quite a few larger hoops, and use those to add some of these things on and see how we get on. Emma Freeman did creating a healing meditation cloth. So I've gone into one of these pages, and that was a nice exercise, just kind of stitching and just allowing your thoughts to flow. And so I've done this page, and I can even come back in and go in a different direction and use a different colour on this same piece. And so this is a nice it was a nice piece to kind of just meditate on, and I think I've got enough pages that I can, you know, do some more if I want. And that's this one. It's a project mending with Kate Sekules. She did mending to enhance anything, so I've just started this. I didn't have anything to hand that I could, okay, let me mend that, but I cut a hole in this and thought, okay, let's just work on this. So yeah, that's a project to be worked on. So as I say, I decided to use the this project as my cover for my journal, stitch journal, and so I'm going to stitch it in, and I need to find space for these additional things that we've got. So it was nice to take a break and to find techniques that I hadn't necessarily used. The stitches are probably ones that I've done in my the 50 stitches that I've done so far. I mean, I've done obviously French knot, but it was nice to see, you know, like as I say, the technique to use some of the stitches has hair, has texture on the surface. I've never really kind of made flowers and things like that, or embroidered flowers, so this was nice, just doing something that I'd never done before. And I'd also remember saying I don't have time to do embroidery, and here I am kind of slow stitching and making things, and it's like it's so never say never, but keep that space open. But as I say, it's been nice to learn so that I can enhance what I'm doing as well. You know, you never stop learning, so you have to give yourself the time and the space. And now I can add all those things that I'm learning to my projects. It will enhance some of my projects. You're growing as you learn, and you know, it's great to be able to be around and learn from so many inspiring artists and creatives who are sharing what they're doing. And as I say, you can grow and then inspire other people. So that is it for today. Couple of my focuses for Material Mondays will be to finish this, so hope I will finish this week. Change up my needles so that it can get through this, and I want to finish the projects that I've been learning from the Making Zen, so that you can really kind of bed down all the things that you are learning. And I would suggest, if you do, I learnt this from it was Effy Wild. I was teaching on one of her courses, on her book of days, and one of the techniques she does when she's doing courses is to make notes about the course, and I started doing that, and it just really does make a difference in terms of, you know, the information that you learn, and really identifying what it is about that session that you have picked up and you want to take forward. And it's important, yeah, that we, you know, we share, we grow, we learn from others. And there was something that Kiala was saying in her live. I saw her live a couple of days ago, and it was, you know, kind of making mention of the people that you do learn from, because it's important. We're learning from each other, and so when you do learn something from others, you know, share who you're learning from, honour them, you know, say their names. And Mystelle's another one that I've gained a lot of confidence in terms of my mixed media art, and just was an artist that in the very beginning, and Jenny Doe, that I appreciate learning from them and still do. So yes, so you know, check some of them out, and I hope that that's been inspiring. I will leave the Making Zen link. So take care for now, and I'll definitely share with you the finished piece hanging up. So that's a commitment I'm making, hanging up, and we'll look at the next one that I'm working on. I'll probably use this as a practice for some of my stitches now. But this has been painted, so this is painted. So when you paint them, if you're not using fabric paint, that often remains soft so that you can stitch through it. If you're just using acrylic, you'll find it harder to stitch through, dependent on the fabric. Anyway, so take care for now, and I will see you soon.